is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Dell and Ed present A Kernel of Truth.
That's Ed's new drone. Why do a couple of Nebraska corn farmers need a drone? 2 words: multi-spectral imaging. Drones help us farm more efficiently and protect planet Earth. Yep, Ed's a pretty good pilot. When he doesn't hit the broadside of a barn, that is. Nebraska corn. It's the plant that can change the planet.
Visit nebraskacorn.gov to learn more.
At Doane University, we build leaders. And that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours. And our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, what up?
What's good, what's good?
This is the Dane Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Ben Droz. That's Cameron King over to my left. I know we're on radio. You can't see us, but he's to my left. Trust me. And we're both sports writers at the Dane Nebraskan, but it's summertime. So we don't, because we're students, no school. We're not working at the Dane Nebraskan right now, but the show goes on.
Show must go on.
Not every night. Not 4 nights a week, but like Sundays now. Yeah, again, we're on Sundays, 5 to 6 p.m. until the school year starts in the fall. And it's been a lot of fun the last few Sundays. We had Anthony on 2 Sundays ago. Last Sunday it was Danny. So and now we got so it's been I've had someone different on every single week, and it's been fun. Cameron, how are you doing? How has your summer break been?
I'm doing good. Summer break's been busy to say the least.
It's been busy?
Yeah, it's been real busy.
Why? What you been doing?
So I went to Kansas City a couple weeks ago for EYBL session 4, I want to say.
Okay.
So I was in Kansas City, and then both my sisters had graduations. So I've been traveling a lot on the road, back and forth from here to Omaha to Kansas City.
Nice.
Back again, so.
That's nice. Has it been fun?
It's been fun. It's been fun. Just when you got to do the actual work, though, that's a little less fun, but it's fun.
Yeah, no one wants to do the work. You just want to have fun with the traveling and everything. Well, this is the Dane Nebraskan show. It's the UNL's only independent student newspaper. And today we're going to start the show off. We're going to get to some NBA talk. Celtics Mavericks play tonight. We'll get to that eventually. Second segment. But first segment, we want to talk about some Husker basketball, because we haven't talked Husker basketball in a little bit on this show. It's been a little bit. And they got a new transfer portal get, and his name is very hard to say, but I think I can say it. Barake Buchenzel. I know I butchered the last name, but I know I got the first name right. It's Barake. It looks like Burke, but it's Barake Buchenzel. I think that I have a speech impediment, so it's kind of hard to say his last name, but I said it good enough. I'm just gonna say I said it once, and now I'm just gonna call him Barake. Huskers new transfer portal ad. Big man. He can shoot. He hasn't put up big stats, only averaged like 4.5 points a game, 2.5 rebounds a game, but much needed ad, down low size, a big man for Nebraska. I know it's been a little bit since, this news came out, Cameron, but I just want to get your thoughts, because you haven't been able to give your thoughts yet on the show. What was your initial thoughts when you heard that Nebraska was getting him?
It was an interesting get. Like, I personally didn't expect it. I thought they would maybe add another piece in the front court with Mass being down for the year, but I didn't know they were looking in this direction per se. But like, he's a talented player. Like, last year was a little disappointing, especially when you have like all the hype going into the season with him and all the other foreign players that UCLA took last year that were really supposed to take college basketball by storm, and it didn't quite go that way. But he's still a talented player, and if Hoiberg can get the most out of him, I think it was a really good get, especially in the last hour, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more intrigued because, like, this is a big man that can shoot the ball a little bit. So that's something that's intriguing to me because, I mean, Alec is obviously gone. Mass is going to be out for the year with injury. So it's like, who is going to step up? And I know, like, I don't think Mary Kay is going to, take that role. Like, Mass was like facilitating the offense almost. So, and now, like, not having him this upcoming year, that's going to hurt, just that offensive creation. But, like, I feel like Mary Kay can do a lot of the things, maybe not offensively, but, like stretching the floor, could do some of similar things on defense just with, size. Because that was just something Nebraska was lacking on the roster right now. Because I was like, they had to add size somewhere. Because, like, at this point, they're going to have Gary at the 5.
Yeah, it was, it's good to get another big body. He's definitely that more mobile style big. Like, he's probably going to fare better in switches than anyone on Nebraska's roster right now at that position. They also have Braxton May, I think his name is, from Washington.
Yeah. He's probably he'll probably start, right? I'm guessing.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like with adding Berke, you have options now, which is always good. Because I can see them going small or possibly
like small, like Gary at the 4.
Like Gary at the 4, maybe Morgan or Berke at the 5, and then starting Gavin, Bryce, and then someone at the 1.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because, I mean, Nebraska was doing the double big man lineup towards the end of the year, with Alec and Mast. But now it's like, I mean, they lost a lot of talent down low.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, the guys they're bringing in are, like, they're shooters in theory. Like, for example, Berke, he has a decent form, and he made some 3-pointers last year.
He looks like a smooth shoot. Like, he has a good form.
Yeah, he has, like, everything looks there, but he only shot 29% last year, and that's not as good as Mash.
But, like, it just looks like he has the skill set, though, to be a shooter as a big man.
Like, it looks good, but, like,
production's different.
Yeah, if he goes out there and gives us 29%, teams are going to start to sag off of him. So it's like, it'll be interesting to see what Hoiberg does with his lineup. But let's say you're coaching a team. Who do you have with your starting 5 right now? If the season started today.
I mean, I feel like I'd have to agree with you. They're going to have to go small, in my opinion. I feel like Gary at the 4 would definitely. I mean, I feel like Gary's probably going to be at the 4 unless they add another bigger body. But I mean, Bryce Williams is obviously going to start. Juwan Gary, I think May's probably going to be the starting center, I would guess. Oh man, after that, it's tough. Who was your starting 5 that you gave?
Okay, so I was trying to figure this out before the show started, and
because I mean, it is definitely up in the air right now.
Yeah, it's hard because you just know the style Hoiberg likes to play. He likes shooting, he likes space. But on the roster, unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have as many shooters as we had last
Nebraska lost a lot of shooters,
especially in the front court. So it's like, personally, if I was coaching, I would go small. I would have Bryce for sure starting.
Oh yeah, and Juwan Gary. Those are the 2 for sure. Lock it in starters.
Them 2 for sure start. I think I would go Gavin Griffiths. I think he would start at the wing spot.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'll probably start at Andrew Morgan, probably at the 5, because he can still shoot it, and he's like, he wasn't a great shooter, but he shows like a little bit of promise there. He has a little passing touch. He can score down low. Like, to me, he's my favorite out of the bigs so far that we've added.
I can see that.
But then I ran into a problem at the point guard position because you don't ever want to have more than 1 or 2 non-shooters on the floor. And just like Juwan took a step forward in shooting last year, but he's not a knock-em-dead shooter. And whoever you're going to play at the 5
is not going to be.
So at the point guard spot, you're kind of stuck between Rowley, Worcestershire, I think his name. Yeah. Rowley, he isn't the greatest shooter. And
I mean, Nebraska just doesn't have shooting on the roster right now. And that's the problem.
I think I would have to go maybe Sam.
Okay.
But like,
I don't think Sam starts though.
That's the thing. It's like, I don't know if he's ready to start yet.
I don't view Sam as a starter on this team. I mean, it's tough. I mean, there's just not that much shooting on the roster, and that's such my concern. Is like there were some people that were like, hyped about some of these additions, and it's like, yeah, like Connor Essegian, like I mean, some of these guys can be big time contributors if they reach their potential. But it's just like this team could so easily flop, in my opinion, and be one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. Like, would it surprise you if Nebraska would be one of the worst teams in the Big Ten this upcoming year?
To be honest, it wouldn't shock me. Like, I don't think they'll be one like the worst team in the Big Ten.
I don't think they're going to be like a bottom 3 or anything, but like I think they're going to be like a middle of the pack team. That's my guess.
As the roster stands today, because he can definitely still add pieces. There's still a couple guys out there, but as the roster stands today, I think they're a bubble tournament team. Like, and that's being kind of optimistic.
I think tournament's kind of out of reach right now. I mean, then again, this is what we were saying last year, though. We were saying a lot of the same things with last year's roster. So again, if a lot of these guys reach their potential, this team could easily, make another run to the tournament.
Yeah, so I will say this: if Connor Essegian can play like he did his freshman year, I think he kind of slots in good at the one, or at least in the starting lineup, and then you can kind of split the duties between him and Bryce, because Bryce ran it at times last year, and Hoiberg really doesn't play with a traditional one, or at least he didn't at stretches last year, so that could maybe work, but it's tough with. I just feel like the roster is not as good as it was last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think that this team improved. I think that's would be very I don't think you can really argue that this team improved. Can you say that they're kind of the same? I don't know, man. Like there's a lot of things that are gonna have to work out for this team to be the same as they were last year, because they had a lot of. I mean, you lost Tominaga, you lost Lawrence, you lost Wilcher. Those are all guys that can hit from deep. Masked a shooter that can hit from deep. Even Alec. I know fans didn't like Alec shooting from deep that much, but he was still a guy that there'd be some nights where he'd knock in a 3 and be like, okay.
He hit the occasion.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna say Alec was a shooter, but I'm just saying there's just so many. I'm more worried about the shooting, and if you're not gonna be as good of a shooting team, you're gonna have to be a little bit better on the defensive end. And has this team improved on the defensive end? Even then, I don't know.
I mean,
you're not going to have Tominaga, who he was kind of a defensive liability. So, I mean, you're going to kind of improve in that aspect. But, this is not going to be a lockdown defensive team by any stretch.
I don't see it personally. I think they've improved a little bit. They have a traditional big now with Mia. So they have, an option of rim protection if they need it. But I don't know. Okay, so you were talking about them being the same as last year. If I told you that with this roster, Nebraska, no additions, Nebraska makes it to the tournament, loses in the first round,
I would be surprised. I got to be honest. They'd have to make a big run in the Big Ten tournament, I feel like, if they're going to. I don't feel like this is a team that's going to, dominate at home like they did last year. I don't feel like this team. I just don't, especially with all these additions you're getting in the Big Ten. Remember, the Big Ten is going to be expanded. There's going to be more teams. So Nebraska's going to be playing teams like UCLA, teams like USC, Oregon. Those are all teams that have in the past have been very good basketball teams. I'm not saying they're all going to be dominant this year.
They all have really good rosters going for it.
This is what I'm saying is that you're adding more talent to the Big Ten. So it's only going to be that much harder to dominate the regular season to be locked into the tournament for the Big Ten tournament. You're going to have to make a run in the Big Ten tournament, in my opinion, if this team's going to make a tournament run. Because I don't think they're going to be able to dominate the regular season like a Purdue or even like a Wisconsin. Yeah, anybody like that.
Yeah, because another thing is when you add these teams in, it's one, those are teams that are going to be ahead of you in the standings. So then you might potentially be playing earlier in the Big Ten. And that makes the run in the conference tournament even harder. So it's tough. Even if you brought back the same roster as last year, I think you would probably be taking a couple notches back, just considering the teams that are being added into the conference. So you have to deal with the new teams being added in, the roster not quite being what it was last year, at least at this point. And then you have the teams at the top not really losing much besides Purdue, who lost Edie, but they have another kid coming in that's pretty decent.
They still have talent.
Yeah, they're still going to be pretty good. So it's
but then again, a lot of these there was not a lot of hype around Nebraska basketball coming into the season. And it was once you saw the team playing there was hype around Keisei Tominaga, but not really around the team.
Yeah.
And I feel like you could say there's hype around Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary coming back. Like there's hype around that's like seen as like the core of this team.
Yeah, like I'm excited to see those guys play next year.
I do think this can be a solid Big Ten team. I don't know if this is a team, like I definitely don't think this is a team that's going to be able to be locked into the tournament. They're going to be like a bubble team heading into the Big Ten tournament. And depending on how they do in that tournament, in my opinion, that's going to be, and then again, like that could be a very obvious answer. But like this last year for Nebraska, they really didn't have to do that well in the Big Ten tournament. All they had to do was win like one game and they would have made it. Even then, they probably still would have made it if they would have been bounced first round in the Big Ten tournament. It would have been close.
It would have got a little.
It would have been close, but like they still would have had a shot. If Nebraska this next season were to get bounced in the first round of the Big Ten tournament or only win one, I don't know. We had a text on the text line, Thunder Not Collins. Slow your roll there, Big Ben. Again, like the Big Ben. Can't quite figure out why you're out on Big Red basketball. They would be good, if not better, in a 24-25 season. I don't know.
I mean, Hoiberg's, he's earned the benefit of the doubt from what he did last year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so then again, that's why I'm not ready to count this next season out at all. Like this team, they have Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary coming back. I see some of the vision with some of these pieces coming in. You know, if they click the right way, this can be a good Nebraska basketball team again. A team that can try to make another run at the Big Ten in the NCAA tournament to try to get their first NCAA tournament win. But I just like this team could easily take a step backwards and be a middle of the pack Big Ten team, in my opinion, especially with the new additions. That's more of where I'm coming from. Is the fact that I don't think you improved. You maybe stayed the same, and then you're adding more talent in the Big Ten. That's where my concern is.
Yeah, that part's tough. And it's just like, with the new additions, I'm optimistic about a lot of them, but the thing is, like, reality is you're not going to hit on every single new addition. Like, it very rarely. I mean,
especially transfer. Like, transfer portal is always hit or miss. And Hoiberg, he hit a lot of the transfer portal this last year, and that's why they had success.
Yeah, like, if they have the same hit rate as they did last year, then, yeah. Sure, I'm excited. But that's rare to have that many incoming guys perform at or better than the level you expected. So it's, I mean, he gets the benefit of the doubt because he definitely identified guys that at this point last year we weren't as high on or we didn't think could do what they did. So in that respect, like, I'm still interested in, like, I'm not out on this team.
I'm not out on the team either.
I'm just cautious, and I would like to see them add probably another piece before the season gets.
I'm more saying this because I just see a lot of Husker fans that are like thinking Nebraska's going to be even better this next year, and I don't know about that. We'll see.
What would it take for them to be better with this roster? Who would you have? Like, who would need to? I mean,
my big name is Bryce Williams. How Bryce Williams steps up this year is going to be huge. It's going to be huge just because, like, I just see so much potential in Bryce Williams. And this team needs a go-to guy now. I get, like, Keisei Tominaga. I know he was a little inconsistent at times, but he was still that guy where if Nebraska just needed a bucket, Keisei would just go and chuck up a three and just hit some random three to get Nebraska back in the game. Like, and you know, like, it's just, Nebraska needs that new it guy, that new culture guy, because a lot of basketball is so mental. Like, there's a lot of talent stuff, but like the reason this Nebraska team was so good, a big part of it was just because of the cohesion of the team. You know, Keisei Tominaga just brought an energy to the team, and the whole team fed off of it. The whole team fed off of Keisei Tominaga. So now that leader's gone, and he maybe, like, I'm not saying they can't replace his impact on the court, you know, just like production-wise. I'm saying just, you know, locker room-wise, team chemistry-wise, can they replace that?
I mean, I think you probably looked at Gary for that. I think he was probably that to some extent last year, but I agree. I think Bryce Williams, he's who I'm looking at to maybe have a significant increase in production. Just like, to me, last year, you could tell he was like a real scorer, and he had potential to be even more so. But towards the end of the year, we kind of moved him to the point, and I think he did a good job of like picking his spots, not necessarily hunting his own shot at all the time, like getting his teammates involved, like running the point guard role necessarily, even though he's not a traditional point guard.
Oh, yeah.
I think one of the big things for me this offseason as far as looking forward was I would really like to see him get off the ball, like really like get the players to really just have to only really focus on getting to his shot. I just don't know if we have the person that I would trust over him with the ball in their hands yet.
Yeah. I mean, is there shot creators on this team? That's more like there's really not. There's not a guy that you can really give the ball to, in my opinion, and say, go get a shot. So you're going to have to rely a lot on ball movement, a lot of offensive scheme, and shooting. And does this team have shooting? No, in my opinion. I think this is going to be a worse 3-point shooting team than they were last year. And that's another concern for me.
I mean, I like Gavin. I think Gavin can get his own shot. I think we'll
see.
I think Easton and Griffiths, they can get to their own shot. I just don't know if it's at the same level as guys like Wilshire and Lawrence did last year.
Like I said before, I think I see the vision where I could see each one of these players, I can see each one of these transfer portal ads panning out for Nebraska and playing big time roles for the team. But it's very wishful thinking to think every single one of these guys is going to pan out the way you want them to.
At least in year one.
Yeah, especially in year one. Again, this team, this team got a little bit younger. So last year's team was a pretty experienced team, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't know. They just added CJ Wilcher was a pretty experienced player. Casey Tominaga, obviously very experienced. Just you added Josiah Alec and Mass. Those are two guys that that were junior, senior.
Lawrence had at least played the year before with Nebraska,
with the team. So. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. But then again, I can see. I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska would get back to an NCAA tournament. I'm not saying I'd be surprised. I'm just saying I'm telling fans to not be surprised if this team is a middle of the pack team next year. But I'm excited for the team, though. I'm excited to see how these new pieces gel. I'm super excited to see Bryce Williams' growth. Juwan Gary, obviously, is going to be a stud again next year. It's going to be interesting to see how they fill the roles of Alec and Mass. But with that, we're going to throw it to break. When we come back, we're going to get some NBA talk in because NBA Finals tonight, Celtics, Mavs. We're going to, dive into that and see who do we got for this game tonight. We'll see that and more right here on the Dan Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Tom and Mike from Husker Rewind. And did you know that people who are represented by an attorney are often compensated up to 3 times more than someone who is not?
Friedman Law has been helping injured people for over 60 years. It's all they do. If you're ever seriously injured in an accident, call Friedman Law at 402-476-1093.
Friedman Law is a family firm that works hard for Nebraska families just like yours.
So if you're ever injured on the job or in a crash, contact Friedman Law at friedmanlaw.com.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow factor. And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Gaina Trucking is hiring for heavy equipment operators and a heavy equipment mechanic. Working at Gaina Trucking is a great career with excellent team culture, with benefits package including competitive pay based on experience, health, vision, and dental insurance, and a 401k plan. If you're looking for a new job as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, apply online at GainaTrucking.com or call 402-794-5000. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello. Welcome back into the Daily Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ben and Cameron still here with you. We're 1 segment in, 2 more to go. Let's get some NBA talk in because NBA Finals tonight, Celtics, Mavs. Celtics, I want to say they wiped the floor with the Mavericks. But then again, like it was a close game in the first half. Mavericks Cameron is shaking his head at me.
They threw them through a table. Like it was bad.
See, I'm just saying this because I chose the Mavericks before the series started to win. So I'm trying to put this in a light where it looks better for the Mavericks. Because I don't think this series is far from over. Like one game is not going to determine. Like this game 1 did not determine the series at all. Mavericks can so easily win the night and then have the even series going back to Dallas. But winning tonight's game is a huge part of that because I feel like if the Mavericks lose tonight's game, there is so much pressure on Dallas. There is so much pressure because all Boston has to do is get 1 on the road, and they're just sitting so pretty. Like I feel like I don't want to say this is a must win for the Mavericks because it's not a must win, but this is a huge win to determine their fate of whether or not they're going to take the easy way or the hard way in this series.
Yeah, I'm teetering towards must win. Like I feel like tonight's game is a really big game because if you look at the Celtics, this is the one they normally like of all in the series they played in the playoffs this far. Like game 2 is the one that looks gettable to teams. Like teams have been able to steal game 2, and I just don't think I want to. If I was a Mavericks fan or a Mavericks player, I wouldn't want to go back to Dallas down 0-2.
I mean, you obviously don't want
to win both of those games to stay in the series. So it's like they need to win tonight. Like they really do.
So you're saying it's a must win
for sure. They need to. They can win the series without winning tonight, but I just think it goes like their chances of winning the series goes from like probably 30% down to like maybe like 5 or 10.
I don't know if I'd put it that low. I don't think I think the Mavericks can still just get super hot offensively, and they can win both games at home and easily tie the series back up. Like I'm just saying, if they go down 0-2, it wouldn't shock me again if they win both games at home and it's 2-2 heading back to Boston, and then the pressure's back on Boston to get that home game, because if the Mavericks win that game, then they're on a 3-game winning streak in the series going back home.
Yeah, we've seen don't get me wrong, we've seen the Celtics mess things up before. Like I wouldn't be shocked if they won the next game and then lost 3 straight, like you just said. But I think the concerning part to me about the first game was that nothing Boston did looked like they couldn't repeat it. Like they might not get that many points from Porzingis every night, but Jason Tatum did not have a great game.
And let's get into that, because again, if Porzingis plays like that again,
they won't beat them.
The Mavericks will not win this series.
It'll be a sweep.
I was so surprised by Porzingis' performance. It was crazy good. I mean, all you heard and all I was saying is you can't expect too much from Porzingis coming back from a big injury. He just lit it up.
Yeah,
he was the difference in that. He was the difference in that game, in my opinion.
To me, I was really tentative in picking series. I had Boston in 6, but I wasn't too confident. To me, everything really depended on how healthy he was going to look. I think good time for Boston fans to see he was pretty much healthy is that they said he probably would have played Game 5 against Indiana. So if he's been pretty much good to go for about 10 games now, I mean, but still, to me, it was still impressive because playing in the finals is a whole different level of intensity. You could see it on the Mavs, role players who haven't been there before. They kind of just look shell-shocked. And for someone who had never been there before and was coming off an injury and hasn't even really played playoff basketball this year, to have that type of performance on that stage in the first game he earned a lot of respect from me.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it was kind of funny because then I started on my social media, started seeing videos again of when Knicks fans were getting mad that they picked Porzingis. They're like, you chose Porzingis over. I'm trying to think. I can't even think of some of the names, man. It was Justice Winslow. You picked him over Justice Winslow. You picked him over, man. What are some other names in that draft where that were just complete busts? I can't even Stanley Johnson.
Yeah, they booed him really bad.
They booed him in that. It's crazy. Porzingis. I mean, that was a heck of a pick by the Knicks. But I do want to give an update. So Luka Doncic was questionable for today's game, but he's expected to play. That's what Mark Stein said in his tweet. He's expected. So when I saw he was questionable, I was he's still probably going to play. I was there's no way he doesn't play this game. I was you would have had to see a massive injury, in my opinion.
Unless a leg or arm falls off, Luka Doncic will play. They did that before the first game too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was he was questionable for game 1. When I saw he was questionable for game 2, I'm he's still probably going to play. But again, he's obviously in discomfort, not at 100%. So again, that does affect the series.
I mean, to me, he didn't look necessarily like he was hurt. To me, he looked.
He's definitely not 100%.
Yeah,
though.
In the Thunder series, to me, it was more evident. To me, I think I think as time goes on, especially with the increased time between games, he's kind of looking more and more healthy, as the playoffs go on, which is kind of rare. But it's just, to me, I think more the issue for him last game was that he just looked uncomfortable, with people picking him up full court. The different guys they were able to throw at him, how they played him in the pick and roll, he just didn't ever really look comfortable. And even when he would get to the normal shot that he would have, where he probes into the lane and has a jumper, he would kind of take a second, pause, step through and pass instead of a shot he normally would have took. You could just tell the Celtics, they didn't just wear him down physically in the first game. You can tell they kind of had him second guessing himself a little bit. So I personally expect a big game out of him in game 2, which I think they're going to need it if they want to win. But
Yeah.
The other guys from the Mavericks are going to have to play at a similar level to what they have the rest of the playoffs, or else this is going to be a quick series.
Again, Luka and Kyrie can only, and this was my concern for the Mavericks, all play. I mean, from the start of the playoffs, I didn't think they had enough outside of Luka and Kyrie. But when you had pieces like PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Lively, Derrick Jones Jr., playing way out of their roles and playing better, like then you could see this team as a championship caliber team. When they start playing back to they're okay role players, not guys that are going to, if they don't step up in the big moments, Luka and Kyrie can only take this team so far. Like they have to have those role players. And the thing is though, and why, even if they go down 0-2, I still think they have a chance, is that the role players always play better at home, in my opinion. They always play better at home.
For sure.
So it wouldn't, again, even if they go down 0-2, it wouldn't surprise me the Mavericks would win both their home games and it'd be 2-2 going back to Boston.
Yeah, I think the role players are the key to the series.
It is, honestly, because Luka and Kyrie are going to give what they give. Either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum are going to have a good game. It's going to be very unlikely they both have a bad game. And if Porzingis plays good again, Drew Holiday,
the series will be won
by role players.
Porzingis, White, Holiday versus Washington, Jones, and they'll, in a way, that should really tell us that Boston should win.
But then again, I would rather have Luka and Kyrie than Brown and Tatum. Bless you. He sneezed at how bad my take was.
Yeah, that was bad. No, absolutely not. I mean, excuse me, but I really like Luka and Kyrie. I'm a really big Kyrie guy, but I just think Jaylen Brown has been more consistent in the playoffs, especially over the last 4 years, than Kyrie has been. And I think Tatum and Luka are close enough.
I don't think so, man.
I think it's if Luka, to me, I have him as probably my third or fourth best player in the league.
I think Luka's.
I have Tatum 5 or 6.
I think Luka's quite a bit more star-studded than Tatum. But I want to get. So we haven't even touched on this. Jason Kidd said that Jaylen Brown is the best player on the Celtics. And I want to get your thoughts on that. Because I find it I think this is more mind games than anything.
It's for sure mind games. You could tell by Jason Tatum's response, he was a little peeved by it, but he could he also there was a follow-up question from the clip that went viral, and he was like, yeah, he's definitely just trying to mess with us. I think they could kind of see it coming. A couple years ago, I think it might have worked. I think a couple of years ago, there was definitely
some animosity,
a palpable rift between them two.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I think Jaylen Brown's got paid. Tatum knows he's about to get paid. So it's I don't think that dynamic really is a thing within their team anymore.
Yeah.
And I think you can kind of tell by the way they responded to the line in question.
I mean, again, when you are in the league more years, you're going to be subject to more of these kind of questions. They're still numb to it, in my opinion. I think he just I think they just kind of laughed at it now. You know what I mean? People still view that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as these young players in the league. They are not young players in the league, in my opinion, anymore. These are players in their prime. They're in their prime now.
To me, that's the scariest part about this Boston run, is that I don't necessarily think that's true. They're 25. Jason Tatum is 25.
I thought he was 26.
No. I think Jason Tatum is 25.
Let me look.
We'll confirm this, but I want to say, if I had to guess, Jason Tatum is 25. Jaylen Brown is
he's 26.
27. He just turned 26 though. Where's his birthday?
March.
Yeah, he just turned 26. Most players, if you look at the history of the NBA, don't really start winning championships until they're 27, 26. So he's around there. He's entering his prime, but they're still kind of young. They're still he just now in March passed the point to where he's closer to 30 than he is to 20.
When you pass that mark, then I don't know. Just with the amount of years he's been in the league, I just don't consider him this young star anymore. Everyone I don't know. I hate it when people call Jason Tatum a young star, because I don't see him as a young star. Nobody calls Luka a young star, in my opinion.
He is.
I don't feel like people say that as much as they do Tatum. Maybe I'm just listening to the wrong people.
Yeah,
but when I hear rhetoric around Luka Doncic, they're oh man, he's this, he's a guy that's he's already got to be doing it. He's he has to win a championship. And then with Tatum, he's oh man, he's this young player, 25. Am I just hearing wrong rhetoric? I don't know. That's just my perception of how I hear.
I haven't heard that. per se. Like I know I want to say the Ringer just put out a list of like top 25 guys under 25, and Luka was like 3 or something. So it's like I think people definitely still like give Luka like a good amount of runway before he really has to start winning. I think this applies to kind of both of them. Is like when you're that good, that young, the expectations just come a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people kind of just expect both of them to kind of be where they're at, especially Tatum, because he started winning.
Had some good teams.
Yeah, he started winning. Yeah, but he was like, for example, the first good team he had, he was literally a rookie on that team. And you could argue he was maybe the best player. It was like he just got success so early that like people, I think, kind of feel like he might be older than what he is.
I don't know, man. 26. He's not. I just don't consider 26 this young player anymore. I think that's your start. Like you're literally starting to get into your prime.
I think if we look up and in 2 years he still doesn't have a championship, then I think the clock starts ticking very loudly. I think right now, though, I think he's still in that where KD was for a bit, like in Oklahoma City, where LeBron was earlier in Cleveland. Like he's still at that point where like people kind of, well, he should be at that point where people just kind of enjoy his game. Like, but I think his success has kind of ruined it for people. Like, I think people give players more credit for like losing early. Like, they look at players less harshly if you lose in like the first round rather than like getting to the conference finals. Like, I don't think people give him enough credit for constantly every year they're in conference finals, NBA finals, conference finals. Like, he's been giving you as much as you could ask for since he came into the league.
Then again, I mean, these Celtics teams have been so like consistently talented though. So that's why like I get it. Like I'm not knocking, like I'm not trying to knock the success he's had so far. Like he has been one of the better players in the Eastern Conference, obviously. The record shows it. His team success shows it. But then again, like you saw when he made the finals last time against the Warriors, he didn't look ready.
He was hurt too. But yeah, he didn't look ready.
He didn't look ready. And so far, I mean, he didn't play that great last game. So this is why I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just kind of a Jason Tatum hater though.
Believe me though, I'm a Lakers fan. This pains me to say. Like I don't want the Celtics to be good. I just don't think Jason Tatum is as bad as some people make it out to be.
I don't think he's not bad at all. I don't see him as like this superstar, like generational talent that I see like Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Joel Embiid. Like I just see all those guys in a different class than Jason Tatum.
All right, so if he wins the championship this year and he averages 25, 10, and 5.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, probably.
You don't think so?
I mean, bro, with the way the Celtics, like Jason Tatum has been taking like he took a back seat in this last game.
I mean, the last game wasn't his best game, but hold up, when you pull up his numbers here, it wasn't that bad.
I don't know, man. I don't, even if they win this championship, I still don't know if I see him in the same light as Jokic, Giannis, even though Joel Embiid hasn't won a championship. Sorry, Joel Embiid's second best player on his team has been Tobias Harris over these past few years. Then it's been Maxey, but still, like, come on, they're relying on Tobias Harris.
Like, I don't think Tatum is the best player in the league, but I also think he's closer to the best player in the league, closer to the best player in the league than he is to like the 20th best player. Like, I think he's the top 10 player in the NBA.
Yeah, that's probably fair to say. But then again, like. I'm saying this again. I mean, he's not better in my opinion than Luka, Giannis. Why am I blanking on every single name to ever exist?
Luka, Giannis, Joel, Jokic.
Yeah, and then Shea. I would put Shea over Tatum right now. I mean, I don't know if I'm quite ready to put Anthony Edwards above him yet.
Like, I think everybody else besides them 5, like, it's a real conversation. It's like, okay, we should probably.
And then you got guys like Kevin Durant, LeBron, Steph Curry.
He beat Kevin Durant in the series, like really badly too.
Jason Tatum?
Yeah, and he outplayed him when Kevin Durant was with the Nets.
True.
So I mean, it's like, I think he's the top guy. But let's for the games tonight.
Let's do a next segment. Let's do a next segment.
Sure.
Next segment, we're going to specifically preview tonight's game. What needs to be keys to victory for both games. We'll do that right here on the Dane Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today. You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Spring Sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com. Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
In a world where businesses are facing daily cyber threats, you need protection like never before. Don't let hackers and malware companies compromise your business success. Stay ahead of data breaches with Hamilton Cybersecurity. Let Hamilton provide you with peace of mind that your business is protected. Our experts identify and mitigate risks before they become disasters. As your trusted partner, we help you protect your valuable information. Hire your local cybersecurity experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Dell and Ed present A Kernel of Truth.
That's Ed's new drone. Why do a couple of Nebraska corn farmers need a drone? 2 words: multispectral imaging. Drones help us farm more efficiently and protect planet Earth. Yep, Ed's a pretty good pilot. When he doesn't hit the broadside of a barn, that is. Nebraska corn. It's the plant that can change the planet.
Visit nebraskacorn.gov to learn more.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket. and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Daily Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We're going to have a quick last segment just to preview tonight's game. Cameron, so you said this earlier in the show. You think this is a must-win game almost for the Mavericks. What do they need to do? What do they need to do differently from last game to have a chance to win this game? Or what do they need to do to win?
First and foremost, they have to find a way to get to the corner three. The corner three. They have been making five or so a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I want to say took 6 last game, and one of them was a made one in the corner at the very last second. So it's that shot is very important to what they do. They take a lot of those. They need that to be a prominent shot in their offense, and they need to find a way around Boston's defensive scheme to get to those shots. 2, Kyrie has to play better. I think he actually had a decent game in game 1. He just didn't make shots. I think he has to make shots, which I think he will. And I think Luka needs to have one of those Luka games. Just to get
I think he will.
Just to get you don't want it to, even if he were to go out and have 30 today, I think he needs to probably do a little more, because I don't think, you don't want the thought of, dang, do these guys have my number as a defense? You don't want that thought to start hitting in your head. So I think he needs to have a really big bounce back game. They need to get to the corner three. Kyrie needs to make shots. And on the defensive end, they need to find an answer for Porzingis. He cannot do what he did last game.
No. We said this before, I'm going to say it again. If Porzingis plays anywhere near that again, they're not winning.
Book it, pack it up.
They're not. I mean, the Mavericks can maybe win a game.
They won't win a game if he plays like that, and
I'm saying if he plays any version of that,
they will not win a game. They need to have him be 20 and 10 is probably still in the almost too much range to be given up to Porzingis.
But then again, I mean, if Porzingis has a worse game, then is Tatum just gonna have a better game?
That's the thing. So I think you need to limit Porzingis.
Definitely.
You can't let Tatum get confidence. This can't be his game. Instead of Luka needs to be the player of the night. You can't be a Tatum game. It has to be a Luka game. Kyrie needs to make shots. Corner three. You're not going to stop Boston's offense. It's just too potent, especially with Porzingis at the 5, who stretches the entire floor, allows for all types of different actions and stuff like that. So you're not going to stop them, but you need to slow them down to where they don't pull away with the game. I think if Dallas can just get it deep into the game, I think they're a better fourth quarter end of game team than Boston. And if they can get it to that point in the game, I like their chances.
What do you think the Celtics need to do to go up 2-0 in the series?
I mean, I think Tatum needs to be a little more aggressive going to the rim, not pass up as many shots.
Would it shock you if Porzingis would have the same kind of a game? Because I feel like it would be almost impossible for him to replicate that game. So they're gonna have to get more production somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think he'll necessarily have the same output, but to me, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Just the way Dallas is set up, you can just tell Porzingis is I've been in this league a lot longer than Lively, and you're not gonna have him on you.
And he's quite a bit taller, I feel like, too.
Lively got in foul trouble last game. So you need, if I'm Boston, I'll try to do that again. I want to get Lively in foul trouble to limit the lob attempts and stuff like that. And I think we just really try to mimic as closely as possibly what we did in the first game. And to me, I wouldn't necessarily we need to make the others stay like they are. I think if Luka gets going, which I think he's probably going to come out really aggressive in this game. I think Boston cannot overreact to it. They just need to stay solid. Stick with their defensive principles. Stay on the role players. If Luka has to have 90 points to beat you, let that happen. Don't let PJ Washington, Derrick Jones, and all those guys start to get into a rhythm, especially heading back home, because then the whole momentum of the series can shift. So they really need to stay home on those guys.
If the Mavericks do win the game tonight, tie 1-1 going back to Dallas, do you feel like Dallas wins the series?
No.
No, you still have Celtics.
I have Celtics in 6. I think the first game kind of reinforced that for me. I think if they don't win tonight, I'm more so leaning towards Celtics in 5 or 4.
If you're saying the Mavericks don't win tonight, yeah,
Mavericks got to win tonight.
Ken, you heard it here. This is a must-win for Mavericks according to Cameron. I still feel like they have a chance if they don't win, but I definitely see your point. It's definitely going to be harder.
What you got tonight?
I think Mavericks are going to win. I don't think they allow themselves to go down 0-2.
Score prediction.
Score prediction. If the Mavericks win, it's going to be a close game, like 5-point game. I feel like.
I think Mavericks win 115-113.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our show. That was the Dayton Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We're going to get a replay of the movement hour from Saturday on the airwaves. But until then, see ya.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes